Hello, my name is Louise Bishop and I'm the Assistant Curate at St James Church in Weybridge, and this is a rather delayed thought and prayer for the day. Reading through the newspapers today, you could be forgiven for feeling rather gloomy. Many of the headlines ultimately relate to our inability to cope with differences, resorting to name-calling and worse, or to physical violence, not just between individuals, but increasingly between communities and countries. At times like this, it's never been easier than to just shake your head, shrug your shoulders, and say it's always been like this, things won't change. And yes, conflict has and always will be here. As unique human beings, we will always have differences between us. But we can work together, and we often do, but maybe just in small ways. For example, coming together to support a community food bank like the one we have at St James, where the difference that matters is those who do not have access to enough food, where we work together to find these things and pass them over. But do we stop there as job done, or do we look below the surface into why? In this week of Christian Aid, we've been learning more about some of the projects it supports, about its cross-community working, its focus on poverty, children, safe water, etc. Putting aid, resources and education together with the countries in need, offering a hand up, as it were. We who support Christian Aid financially, often from the West, are very different to those we can be helping. But that difference does not become a stumbling block to us working together. And this last year, this time of pandemic, has shown how huge swathes of the world could work together when they wanted to, developing vaccines and treatments. But sadly now, nationalist self-interest seems to have broken this time of we are all in it together. As we learn to live with COVID and its constant changes, that need to work together, that need to be together despite difference, is becoming a necessity and something we must learn to do. And it's only then that the world will become a safer place. Differences are a given, but learning to live with them is possible. Not easy, but it can be done. And if that is so, and there's a willingness to try, our world could just become a safer and more equitable place to be. Some may say, this is just pie in the sky, Louise. But I truly believe if I am of worth, I must also believe that you are of worth. And if we are all worth something, why are we not then trying harder to value, respect and listen to each other? Peace and cooperation can come, but it needs a first step. Someone needs to take it. For some of us, that first step is in prayer, in a cry to God to step into the middle of this mess. And here is a prayer from the Coromila community addressing just that point. God who can be found in our peace, God who can be found in our conflict. To be human means to disagree, to have different experiences and different needs. The more we understand our conflicts, the more we understand each other. So bless us as we deal honestly with our divisions, so that we can find your peace together, rather than impose our own. Amen. I think a world where we find our peace together, rather than imposing peace, sounds a much more attractive place to be. Goodbye.